Action News, Delaware Valley's leading news program.
Well, the stay-at-home orders across the region have created a very, very difficult situation for people who may be dealing with domestic violence. Tonight, some information that can help anyone in that situation. Jeannine Lissitzky, the Executive Director and President of Women Against Abuse. And Jeannine, thank you so much for joining us tonight. This is such an important topic that many people might not even think of during these times. Now, my first question is the shutdowns and the ensuing reduction, or I should say, I'm sorry, if domestic violence survivors are unable to leave immediately, what can they do?
There's things people can do right where they are to enhance their safety. For example, they can identify what the safest room in a home might be, and that would be one that has a window or a door, a way out, that doesn't have weapons in it. Another thing they can do is try to keep a cell phone right on their person and try to keep that charged in case they need to call 911 quickly. They could create a go bag with important documents, medication, other necessities, and many other things. One thing they can also do if they want to get help and can make a call is call 1-866-723-3014. That's the Philadelphia Domestic Violence Hotline, and that is available 24/7. In the case of an emergency, they can call 911 as well. The police know what to do to come intervene in domestic violence.
Assistance during the COVID-19 stay-at-home order?
Yes. One thing we saw, like right in the first week after the stay-at-home order, was a 30% increase in our hotline calls. And what we know is that isolation is part of the dynamics of domestic violence. So certainly the stay-at-home order increases that. We also know economic stress can exacerbate abuse. And so being home, survivors may not be as free to reach out, but we did see a 30% increase in calls after the first week of the stay-at-home order. So I want everyone to know, all the survivors and anyone who knows someone who needs help, that Women Against Abuse and the Philadelphia Domestic Violence Hotline are operating. We're there 24/7. Our safe havens are still open and available. Our transitional housing is open, and our legal center is supporting survivors remotely in getting protection from abuse orders, whether they be temporary or emergency, and emergency custody orders. So we are here. Please reach out.
Okay, Jeannine Lissitzky from Women Against Abuse, thank you so much for what you do and for taking the time today to speak with us. Moving on to a subject you may not have thought about and how it relates to the pandemic, namely domestic violence. The stay-at-home orders in effect across the region have created a potentially dangerous situation for domestic violence survivors. Jeannine Lissitzky from the organization called Women Against Abuse tells Action News there has been an increase in calls since the start of the pandemic.
30% increase in our hotline calls. And what we know is that isolation is part of the dynamics of domestic violence. So certainly the stay-at-home order increases that.
Now, there are resources available for those who find themselves in this situation. The domestic violence hotline number for Philadelphia is 866-723-3014. The hotline is open and available 24/7 and is confidential, or in case of emergency, do not hesitate to call 911.